Can't complain, all is well, madam.
Oh my God, have mercy. So this is Duane Stephenson in the house. I am sure many more people are sitting in the house and saying, well, this voice doesn't sound like Duane Stephenson. Please give me an a cappella of August Town.
Though I never lived like he wanted, yes, I was mindful of what you taught me. Go by my bending knees and beg Jaja, please. For I've got the scars to show. Barely made it along life's road. Oh, when my life got dark, Jah was the only spark. He was the light at the end of the road. Na 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 na.
God have mercy. I have goose pimples all over me right now. I feel like I'm in heaven. Whoa. Duane, sometimes
Yes,
I wonder
sir.
how you write your songs. How do the songs come to you? Tell me.
For me, it's a reflection of life, you know. You find that, you know, life provides most of the inspiration that you need, you know. So, for me, writing is a process of just being on the ground and just seeing the vibrations, you know, seeing where people's minds are, what they need. You know what I mean? So that's basically the background of most of what I do. You know, you see where inspiration is needed. You see where, you know, a little bit of insight goes a far way. Augustone is, you know, a reflection of that. You know, what was going on in my community at the time, and just kind of vocalize the vibe of the people in the area at the time.
Is it personal to you? Have you been a Batman before?
No, you know, but you know, this was written because of a conversation that I had with a friend of mine about a week before he died. You know, somebody that I knew and grew up well, but you know, it's a virgin, so you know, say the man you walk on the wrong side of the law. You know, and just kind of hadn't seen him for many years, and I just pull over and just start whole a reason with him. And the first thing I said to him was, "A virgin, you know, stop for your gunshot. You know, afraid that we got off the same man." And him start say, "Boy, you know, more time I think about, you know, what God taught to me and him thing. But you don't know, yes, we live in a way I've just survived, and 90% of where we're going with, I just survival." You know, they kind of move on from the conversation. And then I left the, a little bit after that, a few days after that, and went, I think it was to Guyana with Dean Fraser to do some work. And when, in getting back to Jamaica now, some bridging, because at the time I was living out of Augustone, I was moving back down to Augustone, and some bridging come to help me from there, and I said, "Boy, I can't believe so the one Sean make them take him out, so Blacker Sean was his name." I said, "Where you talk about? Want to finger, you don't know where I go on?" I said, "No." I said, "Sean dead, brother." I shoot him down with the, you know, some running gun battle and all sort of things, like crazy things, you know.
Wow.
And that song was actually written as the final song on the album, because the album was pretty much done before the song.
I see. Whoa. Did you know from when this song was recorded that it was going to be the biggest on the album?
No, at the time I didn't know that, you know. You know, at the time I was, you know, going through a transition myself, because prior to that I was a member of a singing group called To ISIS. You know, back in the days we were some knockoff Backstreet Boys kind of vibe, you know, Jamaican version. You know, but, you know, so much was happening because, you know, I just left the group because, of course, over time, you know, if the process of evolution is to continue, people start to want different things. You know, different members of the group was, people wanted to do kind of hip-hop thing. Some people wanted to R&B, man wanted dance, all them kind of thing. No, me personally was a roots man, you know what I mean? I've always been that. I've never changed, you know. I always wanted what Peter Touch had, you know, with the two background singers and just the vibration and thing. That was always me, you know. So when the time come, you know, I know that, you know, it was time to move on, because had I not moved on, then I would never have been able to tell my story in the way in which I did. You know, so that was happening. And I remember after the album finished, before it actually launched and everything, there was, you know, you don't know where life's going to take you. But Sizzla at the time was having a concert down there. Miguel Collins, me and this brother knew sitting in the same class for about 2 years at New Providence Primary, a standpipe. And by now, Sizzla was a household name, you know.
Right.
And you always have like a Sunday night concert or something like that. I never forget, I went to the Sunday night concert and a bridge in my mind, called lecturer. He was a big dub man all over the world, well known for them things. And lecturer said, boy, you know, I go up and sing 2 tunes. And I say, yeah, I mean, you know. So I went up, and of course, the first song I did was, I think, Cottage in the Grill. But Cottage in the Grill was big before me.
Yeah.
Cottage in the Grill was a big Tyrone Taylor song.
Tyrone Taylor, right.
So once I did a good version, people are going to respond. So that was normal, you know. And then I sang Get Up Here, which people was familiar with because it was first recorded when I was in the group.
2 Ices.
Yeah. And then I came off the stage, never forgot. And them say, yo, you know, I go to the next song about Augustine. And I said, Bridge, the man say, oh, you talk about? And then the man just press off the rhythm.
Wow.
Before I could walk off of the stage. And I don't, for about the next 15 minutes, I don't think I got past the first verse.
Wow.
And then when I finally got to the second verse and I started singing the other part, from Gola to Cut, that was the next thing. So I ended up singing that one song about half an hour. So when I walk out there, I never forget, when I left the stage, I walked straight to the gate and started heading home, walking up the hill to go where I live. And at that point, I said to myself, say, you know, I'm all right. I'm good, man. Me go and live, man. You know? yeah, I didn't know at the time that it would get that big, but I knew I was comfortable enough to say, if them people say everything good,
then everything good.
And that was,
this is 3FM.
Duane Stephenson is in the house and we're having a conversation. And of course, Kenyatta, how are you doing?
I good. Feel good to be home. Again.
I mean, undoubtedly, culture is the biggest reggae group Ghana has seen. I don't know about Togo, I don't know about Nigeria, but I know about Ghana because I was born and bred right here in Ghana.
Yes.
Culture, men and women. I'm going to tell you a very funny story. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I'll be telling you that. There was a Bob Marley celebration and I was there. And Nana Rita Marley was on my side because she used to like me when she was here and I used to walk with her every time, you know. Right. I was just by her side. And all of a sudden, you know, it was Bob Marley being played. You know, it was Bob Marley Day right here in Ghana.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they dropped Addis Ababa. There is a land. And the whole place exploded. I was talking to Rita Marley, and it looked like she thought that there was an earthquake happening. She turned around to look around and like, what is happening? So, oh, okay, that's Joseph music. You know?
Right.
That is the kind of feeling. And I'm bringing in this because this was a Bob Marley celebration. Nobody was expecting culture music to be played like we do in Ghana. Then all of a sudden, culture came playing, and boom! I'm sure it was one of the reasons Rita Marley decided to invite culture to come over for the Bob Marley celebration. He was the only non-Bob Marley family member who was invited to Ghana to perform. You were here too.
Yes, I was here.
How does it feel jumping into huge shoes like that? Do you feel frightened?
No, I wasn't scared at first. 2 reasons why. I've got good band members that my dad left with me.
Wow.
And with having these brothers around me, it makes it a lot more easier.
Wow.
Good guidance, good direction, good vocal training with these guys. Because when I've just started, you know what I mean, I was not perfect with my singing. By no means necessary. As you said earlier, I was a sound engineer. That was my, and that is still my thing. But with my brothers, it was nice and easy.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Do you think that your father, for once in his life, thought that you would one day sing?
Yeah. I remember when we were in Europe, and he said to the band, I hear him writing some nice of the songs. At that time, Jamrock Rhythm came out. And you know, everybody try to write something on that do it. So it's like, you know, I catch my little vibe, I'm right to it. And I was like, Daddy was like, all right, let me hear it, deliver it. The first night I was like, okay, yeah. But I guess that was the only time he ever heard me sing. Just once. Just once.
Do you remember what you wrote on that rhythm?
Oh, yeah.
Sing it out. Let's hear you.
Rumors and rumors and rumors, I say. Rumors them spreading every day. Oh yeah. Rumors and rumors and rumors, I say. Rumors them spreading every day. Cause rumors them spreading on me. All them a try Rastafari I feel free. Rumors them spreading on me. All them a try Rastafari I feel free. You know see?
This
so that
is
was one of my
3FM.
that was one of my very first song that I wrote.
Oh, and he heard it. What did he say about it?
And he gave me good encouragement. He was like, yeah, you know, as every father should.
Yes.
And he gave me correction, like, when you write, you have to think of, make sense with your writing. A song is a story. You're telling a story.
Where do you want to go with your singing? You are an original sound engineer. Now you are singing and doing sound engineering and producing music as well.
Yes.
Where do you want to go with your singing?
I want to take it to where my dad has not.
Wow.
And since as he left me this great platform, because I was much more fortunate to have that platform for me, which I'm very grateful for. But being grateful for it, I have to nurture it and build.
Interesting. I remember when you were in Ghana, you came with your father. I was a truly young man, very, very feisty and all that, you know. I remember when you came and then, you know, your father was being made king, right?
Chief.
Chief. Well,
Yes, chief. A chief. He's a chief.
This is 3FM.
I wanted to move away from the chief and make it a king, you know.
Yeah, but we have to give him the title that they gave him. Yeah.
Right,
He gave him a chief.
right. So he was being made a chief,
Yes.
you know. And your mobile phone was stolen.
That's a part of Earth Runnings.
Yes, but your father was carried in the palanquin and there was the beating of the drum and the enjoying of the thing. Then somebody slipped his hand into your pocket and stole your phone. And then the chief of the area, who is now asking us to make you come home at least and visit him.
Well, I spoke with the chief this morning. Just so everybody knows as well, yeah.
This is
Spoke with the chief this
3FM.
morning.
Beautiful.
And
he said he's coming for the show.
Well, I'm going to go see him because I need to go see my village.
That's right. In fact, how did it make you feel? Did you feel like, well, I thought Africa, you know, forward songs like Forward to Africa, where there is gold, where there is milk, where there is honey on the land, like your father sang in Forward to Africa on the Lion Rock album. Then you
Yes.
come to Africa and you get your gold stolen from your pocket, your honey and milk stolen from your pocket. How did you feel for a moment that you were in Kingston?
I just know that I was like, okay, so we were in Africa. And yeah, it was a nice phone, but it's how would you say this now, Duane? It's materialistic. So you know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't my life. At least it helped somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if they had asked, I would have given it to because that's just our nature.
What kind of a man was your father? Was he a disciplinarian?
What? Yes, a very strict one too.
Wow. He used to beat you?
What?
This is 3FM.
Black Rasta, let me share a story. I remember when I just started going to Mixing Lab. I started going to Mixing Lab when I was like 12 years old. And when my dad, well, not my dad, but my mom, when the school called home and told him like, your son has been not in school for 150 days out of the year.
My God.
Hey, Duane, you know it already. Hey,
This is 3FM.
I didn't say busted up. I got peeled up. What? My mom was very displeased. And I tried to tell her like, look, I find something that I like to do. And she was like, what are you going to do without a good education? I was like, makes sense. But by then it was a bit too late, Black Rasta, because I already got sucked into the studio. I'm still a geeky person. I like to know how stuff works.
I understand that.
So, yeah.
Where didn't your father take the music to? This is the last one before I get back to Duane.
I mean, he has not been into Malawi. There's a few places in Africa that I've been that he has not.
Wow.
Like, okay, we did Seychelles Islands with him, the Seychelles Islands, but he's never done Mauritius, Madagascar, these are the islands. He has never done these places. He has never been to Czech Republic, even though we did tour Europe extensively with him, but we never did Czech Republic.
I'm going to ask a little controversial question. You may decide not to answer. When I read about a lot of reggae artists, you know, marijuana, once in a while we get arrested for marijuana. We go to jail for marijuana. In America and even on tour, I see Anthony B, I see this person, Beanie Man, I see this person, oh, marijuana, ganja was found in their car, in their pocket, something, and then it becomes an issue. Did your father ever go through that?
Oh, yeah.
I never read anything about that.
Oh, yes, he did go through that. That's where the song Natty Never Get Weary came from. I remember as a kid what happened to him clearly. He was on his way home with a spliff. He's a Rasta man. What do you expect?
Yeah, spliff.
He's going to blaze his big spliff.
Yes.
You know, at that time, yes, he was driving, but he walked to the store and he was coming home with a loaf of bread under his shoulder.
This is 3FM.
And they see him, boy, don't move, jump out, guns drawn, everything.
Wow.
What is the name of ganja? Boop. Whoop. A big gun butt to the chest. Put him on his back. He got up, cleaned himself off, and be like, I will see you in court.
Wow.
And until that day, from that day until that policeman died, he was paying my father restitution.
My God.
Gone are the days where you chastise Rasta and you treat us like nothing. You are so wrong. We are people. And that's where Natty Never Get Weary came from.
Interesting. One more controversial question and I'll be done. Yes, one more. Just one more.
I'm good.
All right. So when I was remaking this song, Jacob Miller music, Tenement Yard, with Anthony B, I decided to read a little bit more about Jacob Miller. And I realized that he was buried at Dovecote Cemetery. That's the same place your father was buried?
Yes.
But I realized that the grave was just flat on the ground.
Okay, where my dad is buried?
Yes.
There is no one around him.
Yeah, like
that's
on
right.
the ground.
And it's well maintained.
With grass all over it?
Well maintained. The grass is not just grass, it's lawn grass. Because in that cemetery you got tomb that's out of the earth. But I didn't want that for my dad, because I'll be honest with you, in a few more years I'm gonna exhume his body and take him home.
Oh wow.
But I had to make my mother get over that grief.
Oh.
Or else I would have had two people gone.
Wow.
And then that wouldn't sit very well with me. Because you know what I mean? I grew up with both parents.
Yes. Right.
And when my dad died, like 3/4 of me went with him. It took a minute for me to get over that. Still not over it.
Yeah.
You will never get over that.
Yeah. When you say you exhume the body and bring home, where is home for you?
This house in Stony Hill.
Stony Hill.
Yes. Up on top of the hill.
Was he rich? Did he leave you money?
He left a lot of money, but we used it to make sure that he went home in very fine style.
This is 3FM.
What is it if you work all this money and then you pass this life and then the whole world has something to say because the family are withheld and like, oh, he's gone, so we don't need. No, we need to respect.
In Ghana, we would have built him a statue. So when I went to Jamaica and I saw that the grave was flat, I was asking, do Jamaicans not really value the superstar that touched a lot of lives?
I think it's more cultural.
Cultural?
Yeah, more cultural first, because, I mean, we do things a little bit differently, because most people think that, because Jamaica is a land of many different nations, so mainly for the Jewish people that die, usually big all these like extraordinary
shrines and
things
stuff
like that. But most Jamaicans prefer to be buried simply.
Duane, if you could speak into the microphone for me, please.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I say most Jamaicans prefer to be buried simply. You know what I mean? A lot of people, especially a man like Culture that was so forthright in the struggles and believe in helping youth and all them kind of things. He is not the kind would have wanted something extravagant. You know what I mean? Them guys is not that kind of people.
Interesting.
Yes, it's not anything about disrespect or anything. It's cultural, man.
Interestingly, I was in Kingston and I saw people's graves in Kingston that were built with cars on them. The car.
Those are dons.
Oh.
You see, that's
it has a
everybody
ridiculous
has
element to it.
And everybody has preference.
Yeah, a lot of those things have stigma and a ridiculous element to it. So you can put an intelligent man. This man grew up, lived an intelligent life, a well thought of life, and then you go put him in a grave with this big concrete thing with a NEC bottle down at the front of him. Them things is foolishness. You know what I mean? And it's not what that man would represent. That would be an insult to a man like that.
Duane Stephenson is in the house and we're having a conversation. Duane, I've not heard you make a ganja song. You don't like ganja, you don't smoke?
You never heard one?
Not yet.
Yeah? Really?
This is 3FM.
No, I sing marijuana songs, but I have like two. I remember one that, like, if I do a show in Europe, I have to do that one.
Wow.
They're deep in the mountains, far from everywhere, nestled in the valley where the clouds disappear. Marijuana grows our children with so much care, where the cold wind blows and no man truly knows of the wisdom. Oh, the wisdom and the courage that she shows. Marijuana, marijuana. You show your children you truly, truly care, spreading love and joy everywhere. Marijuana. So yeah, man.
I think that you have put a little shame on me now. Have you ever performed anywhere and the people were not moving and you felt like you should jump
to a tune or two, but it's